Welcome. In this video, we will discuss about the India's soft power in comparison to China. So it has always been into picture that China has more what is called as the investment power. So it can use its deep pockets and investment might to kind of make its way for various relationship between countries. But on the other hand, India's is more along the line of the soft power. So from that perspective, in this video we will first discuss what is soft power, and this topic is important from your GS paper 2 IR perspective. So in your GS paper 2 there is a topic which is mentioned in your syllabus of international relationship. In that regard, what is the India's foreign policy and what kind of diplomatic efforts has been taken from the India side is generally considered. So soft power is considered one of the major tool available with India. So in this video we will discuss soft power, we will discuss what is the latest context of why this particular thing came into picture, and we will also discuss about through what tools India actually utilize its soft power while dealing with the bilateral relationship for various countries. So let's start. So it is the ability to attract and co-opt rather than coerce. So basically, when if you have been reading in your IR, you would have heard of something called as hard power. For an example, when the US and Iran in relationship, US is using its hard power like providing going the route of economic sanction. So economic sanction is one of the way through which the hard power is generalized. Another very important one, which is the general how the two countries used to exert power over each other, had been the military might. So in that regard, that is what is called as the hard power. So over here, it's more of a coercion. You are, in the case of economic sanction, you are actually coercing the country to change the way, otherwise they have to face the economic retaliation. And during the military like onslaught, in that case, definitely you are using the hard power to coerce the country to submit to a certain demands or certain agendas. So in that case, this is what is considered as the hard power. On the contrary, soft power is more about the persuasion. So soft power deals with the power of persuasion and attraction. So it's like in order to make anything work, it's more along the line that instead of coercing, you are attracting them with various factors. So that is how the soft power come into picture. It is about the feeling of attraction and co-option instead of the coercion. The currency of soft power includes culture, political values, and foreign policy. So this is how the soft power is generally utilized, like unlike in the case of hard power where we saw economic sanction or what you can consider as military operations. Apart from that, those are the tools or those are the currencies of hard power. But in soft power, what we have is the culture, political values, foreign policy. So these are the ways through which the soft power is utilized in the international affairs. The generation of soft power is also affected in positive and negative ways by the host of non-state actors within and outside the country. So when I say non-state actors, it means the people apart from the state or government. So for an example, for soft power, you rely a lot on, in case of India, for an example, NRI. So these are non-state actors who create goodwill for India in other countries. So this is how the soft power works. So here, the impact of non-state actors is also very huge as compared to just the state actors. So that is again a very important component to understand about the soft power diplomacy. Soft power is mostly based on intangible. So again, that is not anything tangible you cannot do. It's more along the line of intangibles, such as the power of yoga. So this is one of the major cultural exchange through which India is trying to create its soft power across various nations. Yoga, like by promoting the benefits of yoga. Buddhism, which is again a kind of a uniting force in the East Asian countries, for an example, movies, music, spirituality. So these are the things through which India is utilizing its soft power in the foreign affair diplomacy. So this is what you could understand from the idea of soft power. Today, most countries use a combination of soft power and hard power together called as the smart power. So again, because as mentioned just now that these are very intangible gain. If you really want to, you can always persuade, but what if the other country is really not willing? In that case, what generally, in fact, most of the countries in today's world are practicing it what is called as the smart power, which is the combination of soft power plus hard power. So they will open multiple options, like they will try persuasion, then they could go the hard line also. So both of the options should be available with the country. And India too, for an example, in its diplomacy with China also, India has kept open both of the option. So the smart power is in fact the way to go for the diplomatic relationship in the present geopolitical scenario. So smart power, which is soft power plus hard power. So that is what the most of the country in fact in today's world are following. Now let's just quickly see why this particular China and India comparison of soft power came into picture. Is because the India's defense minister said that India's soft power far exceed that of China, speaking at a FICCI meeting. So there was a FICCI meeting, and in that the India's defense minister has said that despite everything there can be like serious debate on who owns more military might, but when it comes to soft power, there is no scope of ambiguity. So he was like, there could be, we could like really go on debates and see who had more military might, but soft power, definitely India is far ahead of it. India is far ahead of China when it comes to leading the world with ideas. So again, the ideological, we saw that the one of the currency of soft power is political ideas. So in that regard, again, India seems way ahead than the what you can call as the China's diplomacy. If you look at the entire East Asia, there is a huge cultural impact of India. Again, we saw that the idea of the Buddhism. So very recently, in fact, not only in East Asia, even in the Central Asia, there was recently a kind of a exhibition of SECO. SECO is your Shanghai Cooperation Organization, which China is also a part of. Over there, India presented the ideas of Buddhism and how Buddhism is kind of a connecting thread across the nation in the East Asia as well as in the some part of Central Asia too. So this is how the soft power of India has been utilized. So this is important from that perspective too. So there has been lot of conversation regarding the military might, but beyond that, it is actually the soft power of India in which it actually far exceeds the China. We can see, we can hear all about it well from India's kind of investment it has in Africa also. Over here also, the China is more into providing the money, and India is more into developing people to people relationship, what is could be considered as one of the form of soft power. So this has been the overall understanding of India's diplomacy while dealing with the other nation. Now, what are the tools which are actually deployed by India for the gaining the use of soft power? So, Indian Council for Agriculture Research, this is one of the institute which is under the Ministry of External Affairs, does pioneer work in not only disseminating our cultural abroad but also encouraging exposure of other culture in India to encourage a cultural dialogue. So this is one of the institutions which are actively working to spread our culture abroad and also to get to know or provide the exposure to Indians also towards the culture of various other countries. By that, it is kind of opening a cultural dialogue. So that is one of the tool. Next, we have Bollywood. So Bollywood is actually one of the biggest tool which could be utilized to gain over the India soft power, tool for India, because if you see even in China, so there was a news that Amir Khan movies do a lot of business in China. For an example, when Dhakkad was released and when PK was released, it made a lot of profit in China. So you can understand Bollywood has a lot of currency when going about the soft power diplomacy. Then Indian cuisine is also a major attraction for foreigners. So this is the thing, like even if you go to Tokyo, you go to London, you go to New York, across the major cities of the world, you will find at least one or two Indian restaurants, and people are into eating the spicy Indian curry, for an example. So this way again, Indian cuisine is something which could spread the word for India. And finally, one of the very important factor, in fact, in US we just saw that the vice president was a lady from an whose mother was of India origin. So you can understand the Indian diaspora, the kind of influence it could have over the diplomacy of the other pieces while lobbying from inside the country. So Indian diaspora is again a very powerful tool available for India. So Indian diaspora, namely your NRIs and PIOs, person of Indian origins, PIOs are play a vital role in projecting its soft power. So these are the various reasons or various tools through which India is realizing its soft power, and in the latest context, definitely India's soft power is way more than the China's one. So this is again important topic from your IELTS perspective. When you are writing your mains answer, try to incorporate these words. It will really be helpful for you to get more marks. So I hope you have understood this video. If you have any doubt, feel free to drop a comment. Thank you.